Good evening, everyone. I'm Lissy Bastian. It's Friday, November 20th. Thanks for staying with us. The finance minister may have to spend some time before the courts defending his name after fraud allegations surfaced this week involving former business partners. With the details, we go to JCN's Leah Cooper.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Peter Turnquest denying allegations of his involvement in a $30 million loan scheme, labeling them as categorically false. Court documents obtained by JCN News indicate that Minister Turnquest and Sky Bahamas CEO Captain Randy Butler have been accused of defrauding a company of some $30 million through, quote, bogus loans. Now, a writ filed by the law firm Scott & Co. on November 16th lists Alpha Aviation Limited and Advance Aviation Limited as the first and second plaintiffs. Butler, Sky Bahamas Airline Limited and Aviation Oversight Limited are listed as defendants. Now, Mr. Turnquest isn't listed as a defendant, but it's alleged that he was a director and manager of Alpha Aviation Limited and Advance Aviation Limited, while Sky Bahamas and Aviation Oversight were, quote, at all material times owned, controlled, and or managed by Mr. Butler. It says that between February 2008 and July 2016, the conspirators dishonestly caused Alpha, by means of some 39 fraudulent invoices and or book entries, to pay Aviation Oversight 37 checks and 2 checks to Sky Bahamas totaling $3,800,000. It's further alleged that as at December 31st, 2017, the conspirators had dishonestly caused Advance to pay away via wire transfers a total of $5,906,587.67 to Sky Bahamas, also as some kind of, quote, bogus loan. During that same time frame, the court document says that the conspirators has dishonestly caused Alpha to pay away a total of $3,026,000 to themselves via a company then controlled and or managed by them, namely AOG Maintenance Limited. Well, in a statement issued last evening, Mr. Turnquest says he's appalled that his standing as a public servant made calling his name in this dispute between his former business partners worthwhile, adding that there's no room for this kind of misuse of the country's judicial system. He says he's confident that the facts will defend his integrity once presented. The DPM says his focus remains on further deepening democracy by enacting legislation to reform and modernize the management of the economy and public finances as the country works through this challenging period. Reporting for JCN News, I'm Leah Cooper.
Opposition leader Philip Davis calling for DPM Turnquest to resign from that office. In a statement released via WhatsApp, the Progressive Liberal Party leader says that Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis must be reminded that he has a duty to act when his ministers refuse to take the honorable course. Mr. Davis adds that Michael Scott, QC, chairman of the Hotel Corporation, has placed in the public domain by court action allegations of fraud and dishonesty against the Minister of Finance. While Mr. Turnquest says that what Mr. Scott alleges is false, the opposition leader contends that with both men being appointees of the Prime Minister, each having different versions of the truth, one of them must be telling the truth, and that both have clear conflicts between their public duties and private affairs. Mr. Davis further contends that if the DPM and Mr. Scott fail to resign by the end of the day, the Prime Minister must invite their departures forthwith. Again, the DPM has since denied these claims, labeling them as categorically false. In our national COVID-19 update, the country continuing to see a decline in cases, health officials confirming 19 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday. 12 confirmed here in the capital and 7 on Grand Bahama. 12 of those cases were male and 7 were female. There's currently 1,567 active cases in the country, 22 of which are hospitalized. 20 cases are considered moderately ill. 2 are in the intensive care unit. No new deaths have been confirmed, and fortunately, 67 recoveries were reported yesterday. 347 tests were completed, 317 of which came back negative. The death toll remains at 163. The retirement age for prison officers to be extended, according to Minister of National Security Marvin Dames during the House of Assembly session on Wednesday. Minister Dames said in his contribution on the Correctional Services Amendment Bill 2020 that in addition to the ongoing administrative, operational, and infrastructural upgrades to the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services, there's been a long-standing issue with the lack of parity to the age limit for the retirement of subordinate correctional officers.
Paragraph 1, subparagraph 2 of the Principal Act will be amended by a deletion of the word 50 and substituted for the word 55. To date, this would reflect some 3% of the department's career officers who are between the ages of 50 and 54. Concurrently, in subparagraph 3A of the Principal Act, the word 10 will be deleted and substituted for the word 5. Accordingly, Mr. Speaker, this means that a subordinate correctional officer, after having served 30 years, may be allowed to continue to provide service from year to year for a period not exceeding 5 years.
Now, the minister added that the period will be dependent on the individual's physical ability to re-engage and the commissioner's recommendation.
This now makes pensions equitable, ensures stability and sustainability of law enforcement personnel over a long term. It also allows for the continued human capital investment from officers who are still able to contribute significantly their knowledge and skills to the institution itself. Mr. Speaker, this also means that the agency will not risk losing 22% of its officers between the ages of 40 and 50 years in the next few years due to previous legal mandatory retirement age.
Minister Dames says that these small amendments are a pivotal step to assist in reducing the level of institutional knowledge that may have been lost with the departure of skilled employees who are still capable of making meaningful contribution to the service. You're watching JCN News. When we return, a man is wanted for defrauding the PHA and Junkanoo 2020 postponed. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.